everybody, how y'all doing? We just got back from the Avengers Age of Ultron screening during normal daytime hours. We saw it the evening it came out, which is very exciting. And we wanted to have a little chit and a little chat, a little discussion about it. So yeah.
Chip, chop, chip.
Yes, that's something a person would say out loud. Why don't you delve into like a basic overview of what the movie is before we start getting into what we thought actually about it?
All right. Well, if you don't.
Thanks, Jarrett. No, we didn't know. Go ahead, tell us more about what we don't know. You're so knowledgeable.
Thanks.
You're welcome, Jarrett.
Starts out with all-out war on the Earth. And Captain America. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't do that.
That doesn't happen, silly.
I forgot what movie I was watching. All right. Well,
all right. I think that's enough synopsis.
Yes. Yeah, you pretty much got the gist of it.
It's Tony Stark.
Let me explain.
Tries to. Okay. Go ahead.
Tony Stark tries to. Okay. Continue.
He tries to help protect the world. And he wants someone to be like a hall monitor while he's gone.
He basically wants a more widespread Jarvis.
Well, he wants to retire as a superhero.
Yeah, he wants
all the superheroes to retire and have something that'll watch over the Earth in their place.
Yeah, he wants
so that they don't have to deal with anything anymore.
The world will be safe forever and never and ever.
Of course, nothing ever works out like it's planned, and it backfires, and now the Avengers have to go and take it down. There's a couple new characters they throw in. Some Russian twins, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. And then there's another one that gets added in towards the final third of the movie.
So they're allowed to use Quicksilver?
Yes.
Or it's not really Quicksilver?
It is Quicksilver. They're not allowed to
you have a different backstory.
His parents.
And
he can't be a mutant. So he can't have they can't have their powers from birth.
Gotcha.
That's why they made them get experimented on.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. The Marvel
no, that's how he was originally. He's a mutate.
I know, but I'm saying they're not allowed to say that.
That is a mutate.
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're not allowed to say that he's a mutant. They have to say that he got his powers from being experimented on. Gotcha. Both of them, him and Scarlet Witch.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's how
they also can't use their names as they didn't.
Right.
And they can't mention anything about I guess it's a minor spoiler for. I just won't. His parents are relevant for X-Men.
Yeah.
So they're not allowed to mention that at all. Yeah. So, anywho's, what did you guys think? What stuff didn't you like about the movie?
To nitpick what I didn't like, I'd have to see it again. Honestly, I really don't know.
I can't.
I enjoyed the movie.
All right, let's get about let's try not to get into spoilers, but there's a romance in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Very unexpected. They kind of just throw you in, assuming that this is just what's happening.
I kind of got it from earlier movies a little bit.
There was no indication.
I thought that was very random. I was I didn't care, but if there was anything I didn't like,
the way they interacted in the first one, you could tell a little bit.
Yeah, but then you kind of forget it, but it wasn't a serious
you forget about it, but I remember that happened.
I don't want to say anything, but
it seems forced
and
unnecessary. That's one thing that stuck out to me. The darker tone of the movie, I didn't like as much as the first one, where it was a lot more lighthearted. There was a lot of the second one had some jokes, but it was definitely this is a more serious movie. I could see if you're a little kid taking a little kid to the movie, they wouldn't
it's not so
like
much
it as much.
Movie.
No, it definitely was
the
more
jokes themselves are a little edgier, a little adult.
They were,
they were. And there was a lot of them just talking and not actual action. That kid would just be like, "Oh, this is so cool," you know.
Yeah.
There was a little bit less of that. Definitely a darker tone.
I kind of enjoyed it more.
I would compare it to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom compared to Raiders of the Lost Ark, where it definitely took a darker tone. And a lot of people actually don't like it. I still think it was a good movie. Second Indiana Jones was a good movie, but not as good as the first one. You know, it doesn't It did just the fun. When you take some of the fun out, it kind of hurts it. So yeah, do you guys anything else?
I mean, your examples there were kind of lost on me.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
I saw them when I was a kid. I don't remember them.
There was people ripping each other's. All right, it was a very dark movie. It was a very dark movie.
All right.
Compared to the first one, which was
Okay.
much more like a fun movie. Like he's swinging around with the. This one, it's like they're in like a temple where it's just doom.
And there's
just
There's
doom.
just doom everywhere.
I mean, it's in the name. There's doom.
Is Indiana Jones there?
Yes, he was also there in the temple, doing temple-y
Doom.
stuff. Yeah.
I'd say comparing this one to the first one, I liked it just as much, maybe even better.
Really?
I had the
Okay.
same.
You
thing.
liked
I
it-
said
There was a lot
they
of
were
action.
very, very close together,
Yeah.
but I liked this a little bit.
There was a
more.
lot of humor, good humor.
Wow.
As far as they put so many characters into this film that they had to actually leave out characters,
Yeah.
but I think they still did a good job at putting
they-
all those
yeah.
characters in
And
and having
they-
them do their own things and coming together.
They developed each character well too.
Right.
Like they developed Hawkeye a little more
I
than
think
the first one.
some
which
of
was
the
very nice.
I
'cause
really
his
some of the
characters
things
were
they
fun.
threw in there, it just like threw me off. It was like why it just seems like they were doing it just to do it. It like didn't really
Like what?
You need
like the thing
examples,
with
Jared.
Hawkeye and the thing with the relationship. Both of them didn't really
The
make
relationship
sense to
didn't
me.
need to be in the movie. I think the Hawkeye thing was kind of nice. You kind of learn more about him.
Yeah,
It was
but
like, oh, he has this whole family that
it
you-
wasn't what you expected from the first movie.
Spoilers.
It,
Family of dogs. He has
It
a
was-
family of dogs.
it didn't make sense considering the first movie. Like, I don't know. You would think he would. There would. I don't know. I just didn't.
But that was a
it
big
felt out of
thing
place to
from
me.
the first movie that Hawkeye was basically nothing.
Yeah, he
in
was
the
kind of
movie.
irrelevant. You didn't even need him in
was
there.
taken over right in the first 10 minutes of
Yeah.
the movie.
Mhm.
And then he got back onto the Avengers
Well,
in
he's
the
a-
last half hour.
Yeah.
Not really much to him anyway. I mean, he's like Black Widow 2.0 kind of thing, where
Yeah.
they're similar, like assassin type of
They're
characters.
both
where
like almost
where
sidekicks.
you can just
really.
assume, you can just
Yeah.
assume what his that he was like in the military or something like that.
Right.
You don't really need to know. Whereas someone like the Hulk or something or Captain America, it would be much more interesting. Although
Yeah, I
he's
didn't
also
complain.
military, but yeah. So all right. So now positives. What do you guys like about the movie? The best part. You said something about the jokes you liked a lot.
Yeah, I like the jokes.
I actually
they
thought
were
the
edgy,
jokes
they
were
funny.
weaker than the first
Really?
movie. I thought the first movie did a much better job with the joke. But
I don't know if I can remember all of them from the first movie, but I did laugh a lot during this one. So
you
that's
did,
why
yep.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
I felt like they hit on the same joke like 5 or 6 times though, to where they kind of beat
there was
it.
that one, yeah.
Yeah, where it beat the dead horse type of joke,
Yeah.
where it was like, okay, this is funny, but how many
Yeah.
times are you gonna just make the same joke?
Right.
And I don't know. There was a whole like doom and gloom
See, I like
hanging over
that
the movie.
kind of stuff though, like
That
where they'll
kinda-
bring it up later on in the movie, just a little line that here,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that's it.
I know I appreciate that, but it just I don't know. It seemed like it was like a one-hit wonder type of joke where they were just doing the same joke 5 or 6 times.
But what made it funny
I don't know.
is that it's real. Like if that were a real group of friends, they would keep bringing it up.
That's
They
one of
keep,
my that's my favorite. One of my favorite parts is the whole camaraderie between them and how they interact
The
with each other.
relationships between
And
the
you know they
characters.
joke around
Right.
and you know they're just having fun.
Right.
And that I mean that's the best. That's the most fun you would have. And then
Right.
all the crazy explosions and stuff. I mean it was pretty crazy.
very
It was very
action-packed.
intense. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
fight
Um,
scenes were very well done, choreographed and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
they were very
CG,
angles.
yeah.
I mean they did
Yeah, it was.
a great
Incredible
job.
job.
I remember something I didn't like. Back to
The future.
the black. What's her
Widow.
name? Black
Widow.
Widow. That's her name.
Widow.
Scarlett Johansson?
No. See, that's why.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
The fact that she had the
Elizabeth
red,
Olsen.
the red glowing for her powers, I didn't like that.
What?
You know, when she like, let's say she was picking up an object or something, she'd like glow red, and there'd be like a beam going to it, and she would like blow out this red.
Well, yeah, because she's not like any of these people. They have like practical powers. Hers are like mystical powers.
Yeah, but I feel like
compared to
telekinesis and
everyone
stuff,
else.
you would assume you wouldn't see that. I feel like they were trying too hard to emphasize her powers.
When she was doing stuff
and how she would pop up like
and just be
behind
like
people and no one would know she
"Wah."
was there. And, like that was
Yeah, that
stupid.
seems like especially for these like trained fighters that are
Yeah.
like they don't even see. They just like throw like Captain America's just like throwing his shield backwards.
Yeah.
Thor's just like
and she's
whipping.
literally comes next to them. And
Yeah, and no one notices. Yeah, that was definitely
I
like
like that. But
you know.
Yeah, those.
I mean,
that part was a little
they needed to do it somehow. I guess
did,
I
they
don't
did.
know. So
yeah,
I mean, they could have done it other ways.
they could have.
but I don't know.
Name one way they could have done it. A
They
different
could have
way.
had them get captured or something, and then her just do it to all of them.
She could
And
have.
then they
kinda-
break
She could
out.
have been A, sneakier, B, used Quicksilver to help her move real
Like
fast.
have him grab them or something, and then she
Or
just does it.
C, like her powers could have been more of like a blurry line of vision, and as far as like a red mist that came out kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those all could have made it probably more realistic, but it's fine, I guess.
But she's a witch, and that's her classification, and that's why they kind of have
That's
that
her
mystical.
name. I mean, she's not really a witch.
But where does the name come from? From the power.
Because she has powers, yeah. But typically,
that's what-
witches
I'm
don't
just
have
saying,
telekinesis. They more likely make kind of potions and stuff. They're not really.
No, they.
You couldn't even
Correct.
really tell where her. She had like a bunch of
Yeah, she had weird powers.
somewhat undefined.
Right in the beginning,
she was
he-
like.
Yeah.
It seemed
named
like she
them
was,
off real quickly, like a list of them. He said
Yeah.
telekinesis, mind reading,
Manipulation.
manipulate, yeah, and stuff like that.
I mean, it seemed like she every time you saw her, she was doing something,
something
different,
different.
with the powers. So you
Yeah.
were kind of like, that's where I don't like where it's like just tell me what they can do, and then
Yeah.
don't all of a sudden be like, oh wait, good thing I have this random specific power that I could use that no one ever told. I never told anyone else about before this exact moment. Stuff like that I don't like Superman where he's got like 90 different powers, and it's
Right.
like, what's even the point of Superman if he's just gonna do whatever the hell he wants anyway?
Well, if you're talking about that, I mean, the Hulk is kind of like you don't really know. Can he die? I mean,
That's
that's
I
a
mean,
whole other
yeah.
topic, but
he's like
he's basically
never
invincible.
gonna die. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could shoot him with a machine gun for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Yeah, that's true. I mean,
like
you do suspect, and I mean, Thor is kind of like, how you gonna?
yeah,
you
Thor,
can't really
Thor's almost
kill
invincible
him
as
either.
well.
But then you got the other characters that are much less so. But let me get back to one of the things I didn't like. It was very obvious when a character had like superhuman like strength and like couldn't really get hurt versus a character that could. Like
Yeah.
the characters that wouldn't really die or get hurt from like bullets would get shot,
get shot
100
million
times,
yeah.
and the other characters that couldn't,
Right.
like Hawkeye and Black Widow,
Yeah,
you would never even see them get shot
Right.
at.
I
all,
mean,
really.
they kind of have to do that.
I know they
keep
have
them
to
in the
do
same
it, but
space.
it's just like,
I understand, yeah.
you see Hulk. I mean, I guess maybe
That's where they
maybe
extend
that's
the
why
reality of
maybe
things.
that's why he does. Maybe that's why he's in out the open all the time, because he doesn't care. And someone like, Thor and Captain America, it's not as big of a deal. Actually,
right.
but versus
Well,
someone
Captain
like
America,
Black
yeah.
Widow, where you kind of have to hide all the time, and
Yeah.
like Hawkeye,
But
where
she
you're like
doesn't
hiding,
really.
shooting.
That's the thing. She doesn't hide. She's out there and she's getting shot at, but
She
she
does.
never gets hit.
Well, she sneaks around. She
Yeah.
does hide.
She's
She does make her way
got
through
the
things.
assassin
but,
type
yeah,
of
she's an
situation.
assassin.
Yeah, but she's definitely not like a frontline person
No,
compared
no.
to Iron Man's just flying all over the
But
place. He
even
doesn't even
even
share.
under
Hawkeye
the line.
sometimes is standing on top of a building, just not moving. and shooting. Like he can easily get knocked down from
Yeah, if
somewhere.
someone
but-
just had like they just had like a sniper guy, just like he's
But
dead.
it's not gonna happen.
He's
of
dead.
course.
No, because they
No.
wouldn't want that to happen. But we'll see in the later movies. Maybe they'll make the characters more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Especially for like the Civil War, where they're going to be actually fighting each other.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's when the stakes get a little bit higher, and there's going to be a lot more characters and stuff. So I'm sure there'll be.
A lot more hair pulling.
That's not what I was meant, but
But
Catholic.
yeah, we'll have to see what the next movie's
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. So the
Golden.
the next one coming up. Well, we got Ant-Man in July, but that's not really.
Yeah,
that's kind of like an
It's a
offshoot.
side thing,
The,
yeah.
really, the next movie will be Cap 3 Civil War, which is going to be cataclysmic.
Explosion.
Yes, that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, last thoughts, everybody. Let's. What do you guys think for a rating out of 100? What do you guys
Out of
think?
100. That's go
Minute?
ahead. Go ahead.
I give it a 88.
88.
I was gonna give it a 90.
A 90, and I would say an 87.
Okay.
in '87. Whereas
So
I think the first one would be like a low '90s. This one would be
Right.
like a B plus. This one would be like
Okay.
The first Avengers would be like a low '90s, high
fine.
'80s.
So good ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll add them all up and figure something out.
265.
Yeah, no, divided by 3.
1 moment, please.
Do, 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 do,
80. It's like an 88.
Yeah, it's in the.
It's between our ratings because we're all.
It's probably an
the same.
88.7 or something.
Oh, thanks, Jared. All right, the Whiz Kid coming back strong. All right, so that's what we thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you guys think about it. If you guys want to go see it, if you guys want to have a dunk tank with Jared,
Yes, please.
Unbelievable.
maybe if we get once we hit 1,000 views on this video, maybe we'll do it. Who knows?
We
Anywho,
will definitely do it.
we might definitely
We'll
do it.
definitely do it.
So
I'm
stay
making that
tuned
commitment.
for all your comic book and movie related activities.
88.3333333
Bar notation.
bar notation.
Thanks, Jared.
No problem.
All right. Until next time,
Bye bye.
you stay classy.